The QoS tab is different from what you've seen on the iOS, and the reason why is because here I'm using iOS XE, so this is iOS. And iOS has a lot more possibilities in terms of QoS because it uses something we call MQC, modular QoS, where you can configure and refine the configuration of your QoS in many, many ways. Whereas on iOS, it's wireless oriented, so there is one focus, which is the wireless side. However, on iOS XE, if you want to find items that you're comfortable with from the iOS world, you can go to this QoS SSID egress policy, where you can find, as you can see, the QoS profiles that you're familiar with: platinum, gold, bronze, etc. And here again, it's just like on iOS, it's a ceiling. It's the maximum type of QoS you allow on the SSID. But if you look below, there is something else that we don't have on iOS, and that's the client QoS policy. This is where iOS XE really makes a difference. Here, you can create some specific QoS policies that will apply specific configuration on top of the SSID to the clients. So I've taken as an example AVC, as you can see, but it can be any type of QoS. So that's very powerful, and you can define those policies here in QoS policies. But that's again a bit beyond the level of what you need to know for CCNA. Then at the bottom of the page, there is still the usual WMM, where you can set WMM to allow, disable, or require, to decide if your clients on this SSID must support WMM, or if they can or cannot with allowed, or if it's disabled, where there is no QoS at all on this SSID. AVC is here as well, and there it's a bit more basic on 3.6 because there is application visibility but limited control. So the only thing you do really here is to enable AVC on that tab. In later codes, there is more configuration you can do, but here, if you want to have visibility on your applications, just check that box. You don't need to touch the upstream profile and downstream profile fields. They are pre-filled for you. You just click that box and click apply, and AVC is enabled. There is also the local policy mapping that is there as well, and that's called device classification. You check it, and then you decide if you want to use local HTTP profiling or radius profiling. And if you say local subscriber policy dialog, you can also create a policy here, and we'll come back on that, where it's pretty much the same logic as on iOS. You target devices, and you decide what kind of policy you want to apply to those devices. This is the same power as on iOS for AVC and policy mapping, and it's configured slightly differently. We'll come back on that. And then there is the Advanced tab, where there are a lot of advanced things, something that you've seen in iOS, and those are the same. And if you look at the lower left bottom side, there is no Flex Connect option. And again, that's because Flex Connect is not supported on this platform right here. But most of the options are about the same as those you may have seen on the iOS as well. And those you know about are the same. Those that you don't know about, you probably don't need to know about them for the CCNA exam.